Hi, I'm John Springfield. Welcome back to Tales from the Buffalo Trace. Talking about reenacting today. The types of persona you can portray at a rendezvous is open to the public. Okay, to the public is we are, trying to educate people, show the public and everything what's going on. And that would be a first person with them would be portraying somebody back in time, a certain persona, certain character, whether it be a doctor, a woodsman, long hunter, butcher, anything that was back then, we will portray. And the more people we have portraying, the better off any rendezvous is, of course, or any buckskinning event, whatever you want to call them. So that'd be first person. And that person will be acting as if he is that person. He'll have a name, he'll have a job, he'll have something he's going to show the people and teach. And then you'll have supporting people around him. And they may have names also and be a semi, be two stage there. It could be semi first person or just supporting people. And then you have the background people who are just walking around. It's whatever you want to portray and what you're comfortable doing. If you're just in background, you're just dressed up, enjoying it, walking around, doing things, and that's perfectly fine. And then you're supporting the people who are doing the other things, which is great too, or first person. And all of them are great. There's nothing to be ashamed of not doing or doing more. It's what you're comfortable doing at an event. And it really helps the event come off. I wouldn't expect anybody at their first event or two to try to do first person. Usually don't have the experience or contacts within the group to be doing anything that works with the rendezvous. But if you're going to do that, get a hold of them, and they may have something for you to do. They may have a first person that they'd love you to do, or a supporting person also, if you're with the local group that's doing the rendezvous. But you need to just go through that. And your garb, your clothing, your gear, you've got what's called the 10-foot rule, where you look authentic from 10 feet away. If you're first person, you may be up close, so you want your garb to be of higher quality, more authentic. And it comes down to what you're comfortable with, able to afford, or just getting started with. Don't expect to be perfectly historically accurate the first time out. I believe we all should strive to be historically accurate. And there are certain things we will never be able to, because you'll hear cars in the background, planes flying over, things you can never stop. It's never be totally historically correct. But what we're doing can be historically correct if we choose to go that far. And that's a choice, it's not a requirement, in my opinion. And now, a juried show or a juried event is where you will take everything with your garb and everything and send it to them because they want to see pictures of what you have. They want descriptions of everything you use so that they know you have the historical. It depends what level of authenticity that they have at that event. And every event is different. You can never tell how far they're going to take it and how far they want to be. I have been to events that are so close, they want everything dead on to one particular day in history at a certain battle. And if you don't have anything that was at that point in that area at that place, they don't want you having it there. So you have to see what level they are at which event you go to. A lot of them have requirements to be pre-registered, which is understandable. They want to know how many people are going to be there. You have to pay your fees to get in. It's not a cheap hobby, but it's a fun hobby. And it's not as expensive as you would believe if you actually break it down and look at it. So it just comes down to what you're comfortable with and how you want to do it. And that's how you portray yourself there. You know, I myself, one of my personas is Jean Blancouret, which would have been one of my ancestors. Kind of, it would be me back then. I just took my name, changed a little bit, and used a family name that was in the area at the time, which was French. My part of my family came down from France. They got into Quebec in 1603, got married, moved on down, and they married into the native population. And they lived with the Indians, and they were traders. You know, Courrier de Bois, whatever you want to call them. You have the French voyagers. You have the fur traders. You have the trappers who went out and trapped also and traded somewhat, and then others that were just frontiersmen and they didn't want to be hampered by civilization. They just kept moving out further. If civilization caught up with them, they moved on. There were people like that back then, still are today in places, as far as the way they can get from civilization, the happier they are. And then there are people that just want to be in towns, which is understandable. A lot safer to be in a town. But You also had more control. The government had more control. So that's what they were coming to the New World for. They were getting away from the heavy-handedness of the oversight, over in Europe. And it followed suit after we went on. After our revolution, France followed theirs. England soon had no king. Well, had a king, but had an actual government instead that was elected by the people. So that's just history. That's the way it goes. Now, the area I portray in was a very French settled area. And then after the French Indian War, the British, won, and they took over the area. Up the border went farther to the Canadian border then. So the British had the area. And then, during the Revolutionary War, we're way on the interior here. George Rogers Clark, he was a colonel, then became a general. Took his army, walked all the way out here. They hiked, did riverboating, got out here, took over, had battles at the forts, and captured it. And they captured the entire Northwest Territory. It doubled the United States size because the Revolutionary War size of the States was much further east. But when he captured this area, it just doubled the size of what they were fighting for. So it was a great time for them. And then further on from this area, Clark and Lewis and Clark. Well, Clark was a brother of George Rogers Clark. So he came right through this area too. Went straight across the river right down to Vincennes, went straight over to St. Louis, and that's where they departed from. It's a more settled time at that point, of course, but that's how it went. So while St. Louis was the gateway to the West, everybody came through the area where I'm at. It was the main travel route to get to St. Louis. So we were part of it too. Had a heavy French influence through that time frame. The town is Vincennes, Indiana. And Vincennes is a French town over in France. We have a sister city there. And that was how it became Vincennes. It was New Vincennes, and it just became shortened to Vincennes, and now it's Vincennes, Indiana. One of the oldest cities, the oldest city in Indiana, one of the oldest cities in the Northwest Territory. It was the capital of the Northwest Territory at one time. Several governors here. The governor here also became the President of the United States, William Henry Harrison. He has a mansion. If you ever get in the area, go visit it. Now, but back to your personas. As I said, that was just the background of the history of the areas, just so you know what I'm talking about when I say my family was here. And they had a trading post, they had other things. So I would work, my persona would have worked at the trading post in the family business and traveled up and down the river by canoe, going to all the Indian villages, trading, setting up trade, and getting them back there too. A little bit of long hunting, whatever. Though I'm a frontiersman, I'm not a long hunter in my persona. But that's what I do. I am part of native descent also because of that. They were the Métis, and big native population of the Métis now up in the Red River Valley up in Canada. So you can take your family history and work it into your persona if you so choose, and if the group around lets you, if that's what they're portraying. But people on the frontier were from all over because we're all immigrants, and we settled this new country. And this was the frontier at the time, not the western frontier. But it was the western frontier because the West wasn't there at that point. That didn't come along till after Lewis and Clark and the great purchases of the Louisiana Purchase and everything, and all the way across, which gave them all that land because the French still held a lot of that land, and the Spanish did too. And that's what it came down to. So that was how I developed one of my personas. Now the other side, my father's side of the family's from Tennessee, Georgia. So we were mountain people, which could have been the over mountain men. And that's a topic for another day. But that's the personas I can choose and play from. So I will go to Tennessee and reenact there too, because they're great people. They're all great people. As I said, you go to your rendezvous, everybody will talk to you if you want them to. If you stay away from them, they're not going to talk to you, they're not going to bother you because they want you to do your thing and enjoy it to the level you want to be at. So you want to help more, say, hey, what can I do? Need any help? The people in charge when you're signing in. Or you're just day tripping. You can day trip, just wear the stuff and go. Or you can go as a regular person if you want to at first, and then slowly do it. Talk to a lot of people about how they've got into it. On one of my pages on Facebook, I've got a thing on there to ask you, how do you get started in reenacting? If you happen, feel free to go through there and look and see how other people have started. and all the groups that I'm in on there. You can go through that, see what I posted, follow those other groups, get in there and talk to people, and they will help you. Everybody is so caring and wonderful. Great people. They care about what you're doing and everything, and constantly making friends. Meeting more and more people daily, and I love it. The more people I know in the hobby, the happier I am with it because I'm learning more. Because everybody has something they can teach you, in my opinion. I've learned a lot from everybody. I'm growing leaps and bounds still, and I'm still learning. I don't think I'll ever quit. And that's the best thing. And my outfit, I'm constantly upgrading to make it more and more authentic. The closer I get to being 100% historically accurate, the happier I am. It just takes time. Some people may have the money to buy into it, some may not. And don't be worried about either way. Just do what you can do. And some people are only happy if they made their own stuff, handmade everything. Other people, they just want to just get their stuff and go to the events and be happy. Having fun, reenacting. That's the big thing. Get out there, have fun, enjoy yourself. And that's what we're starting. If you come on my page, don't hesitate to say hi. You can message me, I'll reply. Just met a gentleman yesterday, talked to him for quite a while. Great guy up in Canada, and had a good conversation with him. He'll know who he is, so it's good to see you on the page. Good for you reenacting. Glad to see you reenacting, and have fun with it, guys. Enjoy yourselves. Thank you very much, and have a great day. I'll catch you again later.